a bucket of fields here, classified here. We have people who are into content development, social media managers, we have graphics designers, we have video content creators, those are YouTubers, TikTokers, Instagram video content creators, and then you also have please kindly mute your mic so that we won't have reverberations. So, and then we also have graphics designers. So the approach we are giving to this is a lot more from a generalist standpoint, as opposed to having individual standpoint to this, right? That's number one. And again, don't forget that this is an offshoot of what we started from the IYC, and what we are looking to do is not just a one-off seminar. We're looking to have like a mentorship arrangement, right? So if, for example, you are not very sure where you fit in, you're still very much unsure of how to go about starting out, we are here to give you the mentorship that you need to be able to understand where best you naturally fit in. I know that several people may still have the question of, is there any real need for maybe a Christian to go into stuff like TikTok content creation or Instagram content creation? The truth of the matter is that the more we leave those things open for people who have no fear of God to dominate those spheres, the more our children and our siblings and our younger ones will continue to consume the content that they generate. So there is a space for us as Christians who understand these things to, stand up and develop content that are wholesome, content that people will consume and they'll be happy they did, as opposed to toxic, other sort of content that other people out there create. So yes, there is a need for you, and then if you have other questions as, okay, is it right for a Christian, all of those questions that, please feel free to maybe drop them in the comment section. We will address each and every one of the questions. So for tonight, we are looking at gaining visibility in a noisy world. Gaining visibility in a noisy world. And so like I mentioned earlier, we're approaching this again from the standpoint of maybe if you understand where you're going, whether you're just an enthusiast who would love to start maybe writing or start developing video content or start shooting videos or start taking pictures, or you're in the middle of it, you started already, but you're not very sure, it's not moving as it's supposed to, you are still struggling to gain ground, and you are still trying to understand what you can do to be able to do more, or maybe you're already there and you're making some progress, but you're trying to maybe scale or, take what you do to the next level. Okay, so let's assume also maybe you already have broken even and, okay, you're looking to do, what's the next big thing, right? Why is it one person that shoots videos for Davido, Wizkid, and all the big wigs in the industry now? Is there something he's doing different than the rest of the people who have used the same equipment, who used to shoot those same videos? They are not doing, or they don't understand, that's scaling to the next level. Whatever it is, whether you don't get it here, you can easily reach out and we'll continue from there. So, so the first thing we must establish in gaining visibility in a noisy world is that nobody, is a sad reality, but that's a reality. Nobody is sitting around waiting for your content to drop. Nobody, not even your brother, not even your mother. Nobody. It's a very, but that's the reality, Nobody is waiting for your content to drop, right? And so you'd find that those people who you are actually, who you hope maybe you would consume your content, let's say you are a writer, let's say you write threads on Twitter, right? And you hope somehow that, okay, once your thread drops on somebody's timeline, they are going to, maybe consume it, read it, and then retweet so that it goes viral. They are not waiting for that your content to drop. And when eventually that your piece of content drops, they have 1,000 and 1,000,001 things waiting, trying to grab their attention. They have Instagram videos, they have Mr. Macaroni's videos, they have, funny content from all over the place, from Instagram, from TikTok, from Facebook, from Nairaland, from YouTube, from all over the place. And they bought their data by themselves. So you would have to give them reason to leave all of those things and spend the next few seconds or minutes on your page. All right. So the question that this presentation is trying to answer is, what do you do differently so that even if it happens that your piece of content drops on my timeline by accident, that I don't scroll past it? And if it ever happens that I did not scroll past it and I watched it, why would I want to go follow you? And then when you drop another one tomorrow, I will now consciously want to watch it. That is what we are looking to address with this. So the next one is, again, the problem. That's what I just explained. Nobody is waiting for your content to drop. The average person is being barraged by content from the moment they wake up to the moment they sleep. Why would they want to watch your content or read your content or see what it is that you have to say? And for that to happen, the most fundamental thing, the most primary thing, irrespective of whether you're a content developer, a writer of any sort, maybe a comedy writer or whatever it is kind of writing that you do, or it is that you're a social media manager, or you're looking to be an influencer, or maybe you're a photographer who is looking to have a niche for yourself, or maybe you're a videographer that you're looking to start working with maybe comedians so that or you're looking to break into Nollywood, or maybe you're a TikToker or a YouTuber or whatever. The first step towards gaining visibility with your content is defining your target audience. Again, not be everybody be your customer. Everybody is not your customer. Even your siblings may not be your customer. Even your friends, your closest friends, your family may likely not be your customer. Understanding who your customer is and when I say customer now, I mean your target audience. Understanding who your target audience is what will help you, one, to be on LinkedIn, KG, Instablog, everywhere. Why do I want them? The more visibility I gain, the more followers I gain. And when I drop another one, people will read it. So when I sat down and I said, controversy is the way to go. What kind of controversial story should I cook up like this that will make Instablog see the thing and carry it and really that cage? That's free publicity, right? When I looked at these things together, I started concocting my story from there. I cook and wear well. Forget. Agba cook me. I cook and wear well. The first story I dropped was everywhere. When I say everywhere, name all the major blogs in this country. It was there. Right? How was I able to do? If I just randomly decided to write a story, maybe only me go to read them, But I sat down. My goal was, I want the same target audience, the young people, right? The people who visit blogs to see these stories. I want them to DM me their own stories, and I will share them too. I wanted to be popular. I wanted to gain visibility. So that was what informed my storytelling, right? So you will first of all have to define who your audience is. And then when that is done, that will inform how you tell your story and where you tell your story and what format you use in telling your story. So let's say, for example, I'm looking to reach out to young people, right? There are several options that exist. I can actually write a Facebook post. What is my chances of going viral on Facebook? It's very low. What if I take that same story as if written content and share it on Instagram, for example? What is the chance that I will go viral on Instagram? It is also very low with written stories. Emphasis on with written stories. Now, so when you understand your target audience, you will also begin to understand what platform will be the best in reaching your target audience. And once that is done, being visible becomes easier and easier and easier and easier. Right. So like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter if you're a photographer. So let's say, for example, that you're a photographer, right? You need to understand which platforms are photographers the most on. That's a critical question you must ask. The most visible photography brands, which platforms are they most visible on? When you find that platform, brother, that's the platform you should be putting all your energy on. And I am of the opinion that you should not put. So let's say, for example, now you're a photographer, right? And you're starting out, right? You must not be on every platform dissipating all your energy. I am of the school of thought that believes that if, for example, what you can manage effectively is 3 platforms, let's say Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, are the 3 platforms you can monitor and manage effectively to grow your personal brand. Focus all your energy, in fact, on those 3. Don't be everywhere and then jack of all trades, master of zero. Focus on, if it's one you can, you know that, okay, this is, put your 110% in that one, all right? So again, define your target audience. And then, so once you define your target audience, that will inform the kind of content you will develop. You will not only inform that, you will also inform the platform of delivery. And then once you determine the platform of delivery, there's something called inter-platform peculiarities. TikTok has what works for it. It's different from what works on Instagram. They may be very similar, but people who understand, people who know, they know that TikTok has its peculiarity, Instagram has its peculiarity, YouTube Short has its own peculiarities, Twitter has its own peculiarities. And understanding which platform will pay you the most and focusing your energy is the best way to go, as opposed to just, spraying them and praying. Right. So we're moving on to the next one. Now, the moment you understand your platform, the next thing you do is create high quality content. See, Baba, there is no shortcut. It doesn't matter the kind of content you create. This week I was speaking with a woman who is a marriage counselor. This woman has years of experience in marriage counseling. She has written 3 books. About 3 books. Most of our books are on Amazon, right? Fine, good. Amazing content creator. Fantastic one. The quality of her craft is fantastic. And this week she was telling me, she said, she was lamenting. She said, how person could write all these books and sales will be so small that she's almost discouraged. I was listening to her. And she was lamenting and lamenting. Where's she coming from? Now, even though I digress, number one, it is not enough to create, of course, we'll still get there. It's not enough to just create content. It's not enough to just create content. Create good quality content. Create good quality content. Why do you think people like Sabinus? The vast majority of his kids resonate with Nigerians. I know, he's goofy, right? It's simple. His comedy is simple. It's not the kind of comedy. So look at this guy's comedy, for example. Brother Shaggy. Brother Shaggy's kind of comedy is the kind of comedy that you need a whole crew, right? You need audio, you need lighting, you need camera from several angles, you need somebody who will take care of your set, you need costume, you need all those things. What's his name? This other young man. His own comedy, just remove an iPhone, do your audio, and keep it going, right? But the quality of the content, that's why among them, of course, I know that several people will say that the quality of comedy is subjective. I agree, but the quality of the content, there are no 2 ways about it. There are no 2 ways, right? If you must be visible, your content must be good. So it doesn't matter if, for example, what the kind of content you're looking to do is maybe you're a photographer or a videographer or whatever it is, right? So, and then I keep saying it. I know that some people may not agree, but some people will have the question, how do I create good quality content? Fine and good. Before you start out, find the top 10 best content developers in your niche. So let's say, for example, now I want to start making tech videos, right? I want to start making tech videos on YouTube, on Instagram, and on TikTok. What do I do? I'll find the top 10 Nigerian and international tech video content creators, and I will check their top 10 most grossing videos. So that number one will give me a hint of the kind of videos that sells. That's number one. Number two, it will also give me a hint of the kind of quality of content that they are looking out for. Now, when you copy that, right? When you finish, remix it. It's simple. It's not a crime. Remix it. And when you remix, don't just copy and paste. Though. That one is wrong. Okay. Copy, remix, rejig, refine, edit, enhance, and share. Don't just copy and paste. Nobody, right? So by nature, where you're copying from is high quality. By the time you refine, enhance, and do everything, it will set a standard. So it doesn't matter if, so let's say, for example, you're a photographer, right? And who are the 10 best photographers in Nigeria? What kind of photographic content in your niche? Let's say you're a wedding photographer. What are they doing different? What angles are they approaching these things from? What exactly do they capture when they go to weddings? Is there like a team that they use in editing their videos? Is there like structure to what they are doing, right? There's nothing that has the structure that you cannot replicate. And if you're replicating from good quality content, forget it. You maintain a certain acceptable standard. So again, like I mentioned from the get-go, there is no shortcut to. If you must be visible, you must share good quality content, irrespective of whatever platform that you're looking to share those content.
Hello, hi, Bryfine. Please, can you put it in display mode as a presentation mode?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes, please. Thank you very much. Right. So, and the next on the list is SEO. I know that for people who are just starting out, they may struggle to have a grasp of this, but that's okay. But one thing I need you to understand, just the way it's just about as important to understand your audience, to also create good quality content, you cannot run away from SEO. There is no running away from SEO. You can't run away from, no matter how much you try. Right? There is no running away from it. And if there is no running away from it, embrace it. It's like, do you get it? It's like your shadow. Embrace it, right? So you'd find that, so basically, the SEO is search engine optimization. And if you're in this industry, you must have heard it one time or the other, right? Basically is how to position your content so that it will rank high in search engine results, irrespective of the platform, whether it's YouTube or it's Google or whatever it is, right? That's what this is about, right? It doesn't matter if you're a writer. Now, there are several things you can do to make your work rank high. It doesn't even matter if you're just maybe a videographer or whatever it is, right? Even as a social media manager, when you post about certain things, even on Twitter, you cannot miss several keywords. It's okay if you don't know how it works. Take your time, study how it works. Understand how your hashtag, for example, as a social media manager works. As a photographer, how it works, right? If you're a photographer, I want to believe that you already know by now that wedding photography is one of the most viral things in your industry. It is one of the most well-loved things. People want to see beautiful couples, pictures of beautiful couples. They just want to see. It's therapeutic. People just want to see it, right? So, and even what many people do is, even when it's not even their core thing, once in a while they go there, take some pictures of it and share, just because they want to go with the flow, right? So it doesn't matter what, if you're a writer, it's even much more, it's even much more it's even much more critical to your work. Because if nobody is seeing your work, how they won't take read them? So you have all this repository of some of the most amazing write-up that ever existed, and then you're the only one reading it. It doesn't work like that. Never works like that, right? So SEO, use it. You cannot. There's no escaping it. Embrace it, and it's gonna make your work better. Social media is the organ. Leverage social media. Leverage social media. As a personal example, I have this to say, right? I remember when I started writing again in 2017. When I began doing social media, I remember how I got, to some extent, how I got here. I woke up one day and I was like, how does it feel to be, to be famous on social media? I just wanted to know how it felt to be famous on social media. That's it, right? As at that time, of course, I was already a social media manager, but I wanted to try something different. What else can I do? What else can I do to improve my value? And I should be an influencer. What does it take to be an influencer? I started searching, and in the process of my searching, I came to realize that there's something called retweet groups. The group where some people will come together. You can be on WhatsApp. So when you share content, me, I go and like your content. It's like, hey, wow, that's true. I also found again that there's something called follow for follow. So that follow for follow is what you use to grow your account. So you follow somebody and that person follows you back. You follow another person, that person follows you back. You can do that for in like 2 months. You could easily amass, say, 10,000 followers. I'm like, wow, so this is possible. Let's do it, right? And then that was what I started doing. I started doing and doing. I started doing and doing and doing. It was in that process that was what built my journey to where I am. Well, that was part of what built my journey to where I am today, right? It was in the process of doing that thing. After I had gained followers, okay, why don't I write stories? So social media for creatives is the lifeblood of what they do, right? Take, for example, you're a photographer and you're the best photographer that there is to exist. And you take some of the most amazing photographs and nobody knows that you exist, bro. Right? That's why there's social media, right? You're a writer, you write this thing and nobody. So leverage social media. Find the next thing to do. Use your hashtag right. Understand peculiarities of each platform that you're on. Be smart about it. Find, for example, I know that 1 million followers on Instagram is worth far, far, far more than 1 million followers on Facebook or 1 million followers on Twitter. If you have 1 million active followers on Instagram, you're a very rich person, right? But you can have 1 million followers on Twitter, it doesn't mean much. You can have 1 million followers on Facebook, and it doesn't mean much, right? So again, it still boils down to the kind of people who, of course, I agree. But on a generally, 1 million followers, the value of 1 million followers on Instagram is worth far more on elsewhere, right? So the point then becomes, understand the peculiarities of your job with respect to social media and use that to your advantage. That's the whole point of all of this, right? And then collaborate. The truth of the matter is that nobody's happy everything. If the video see they do collab, who you be there? Like seriously, right? If that got to find money, right? Who am I, really? So, and one of the problems that I've seen young people grapple with when it comes to collaboration is, so let's say you're a YouTuber and you have, say, 300 followers, and then you're DMing another YouTuber who has 100,000 followers, and you say you want to collab. What do you want to collab for there? He's not gonna answer you. But now you have just 300 followers, which is, by the way, a whole lot of work, right? Find some other YouTubers in your niche or in complementing niche who have 300 followers like yourself. Collaborate. What that does for you is that it refines your craft. It keeps refining your craft. It keeps refining. You have something to say, I did this. So when you now DM somebody who has, let's say, 5,000 followers, you can say, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. We can do this together. Don't be saying you never do anything, you never get any follower, you never go anywhere. You're not you're not DMing somebody who has 100,000 followers, say, please let's collaborate. You go take for there, you know. So, and I've seen this happen time and again, right? So you find that there are some fashion designers who are doing fantastic work, but they don't have money to pay photographers. You can reach out. I see you're doing some fantastic stuff. Let's have a photo shoot. It's free, right? That photo shoot where you do, you will be photographer. You'll be using it to share your work. I did so. Look at my work. While the fashion designer will say, oh yeah, this is my work, and it's free. The collaboration is mutually beneficial to the both of you, as opposed to just chilling, wanting to do everything by yourself for yourself. 100% of zero practically is zero. So collaborate as much as you can. Cross-pollinate ideas, collaborate, and that is one way you can get your work in the face of people. If you not attend the event, how industry people will take sabi you? Now, this is important because I remember in my early days, right, I would DM people on Twitter and I would say, oh yeah, I know that you're a big person. I'm looking out for jobs, small jobs. You know those kind of jobs that are too small for you. I don't mind taking them in. Please send them my way. I was cold DMing people on Twitter. I could DM several people, right? It's almost the same as networking. When you go to attend networking events in your industry, you will meet several people. You meet people who are far bigger. You meet people who are your class. You meet people who are far lower. Exchange contact, get to know them. They'll follow them on social media, introduce yourself to them, right? And you can tell them, oh yeah, I am up for, those kind of small job. Okay, let's say you're a photographer now, for example. I know some of them, when they get, let's say, a wedding job, right? They will need more hands. And okay, so let's say a wedding job of 200K, the photographer that got the job needs, like, say, 2 more photographers that will join him. And then who he'll pay, let's say, 20,000. And here you are, you're just starting out, nobody knows you, you don't know how they go. And you can say, bros, I'm here, all those small jobs, can get it done, blah, 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 blah. And then he will call you when he needs help. A day may come when maybe the person who's supposed to cover for him, calls in sick or whatever. You remember, somebody, from there, and you begin to establish how good you are in the stuff. And then from there, the ways will begin to open for you. But if you're just chilling, it's like a beautiful woman. You're so beautiful, And they come out. You won't marry, but they come out. Morning, day house. Afternoon, house. Weekend, house. Come out, go meet people, go. And you're praying for husband. You go there. So this is particularly important to people who are just now in the industry. And again, if you're also big, I remember that somebody on Twitter, I read it on Twitter, I believe, was DMing one of Nollywood's biggest directors. She would DM the lady and say, oh yeah, I see your work, I'm so, I do this, I would love to work with you. She would DM, she never knew that the lady was reading her work. The day she responded and said, oh yeah, I want to work with you, she was shocked, right? The same thing happens at networking events. Introduce yourself to the big people in the industry. Tell them what you have done and what you're doing. Tell them that you love their work. You would like to collaborate sometime. And naturally, in time, things will begin to fall in place. The same happens for social, it's the same for social media managers, writers and, videographers and whoever it is. Another thing that you must do is measure your results. So let's say, for example, that you share on social media, right? The devil is in the numbers. You can't share and ignore the numbers. The numbers will tell you what works and what doesn't. And if you don't monitor, you have to monitor your social media on an everyday basis. If it is the lifeblood of your business, when you share things, pay attention to what people like the most. So when you begin to find, oh yeah, that they like more, you can begin to double down on what people like and begin to do away with the things that people are not interested in. So the numbers will always tell you the truth. So let's say you're a TikToker, right? And you posted a video and you had, say, 1 million views, right? Before now, when you post a video, you get 100 views, 20 views, 30 views, and then you posted one and you got 1 million views. That tells you something. It tells you that that is the kind of video that are better suited for the kind of audience that you have. What do? Begin to create videos around that topic the more, right? And knowing full well that, okay, this is the kind of thing that my audience like, you must begin to double down. The same is, I remember I used to work for a media house. I will not mention the name, right? And we have a friend, one of our journalists. I work there as a journalist. One of our journalists, we used to tease him a lot. And why do we tease him? You will be seeing stuff like 10 things to do so that you don't die while having sex. Funny, really, really funny captions, titles. And so anytime you come across any funny title that has to do with sex or the sexual, you already know that it's one. And then we will tease him. But what we did not know is that what we didn't come to realize early was that the guy had come to realize that sex sells. As ridiculous as that topic may sound, why you may have heart attack by having sex, people want to read it. To the average mind, that would be like, what kind of stupid, right? The average mind wants to read it, right? So, but he has measured his results over time to find that, this is what works, right? So, measure your result all the time. Find what works and begin to double down on it. Another thing that I must say is, Baba, be consistent. Why do people hate mechanics and tailors? You already know. They tell you, oh yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. Your clothes will be ready tomorrow. They run it. You cannot grab them. And consistency, no matter how talented or how good you are, if you're not consistent, take for example a person like Davido. Davido is like Nigeria's foremost musician, right? Take for example that he just goes MIA for the next, say, 7 years or 10 years, and then out of nowhere he drops a song. His value as a musician would have dropped. There are several Nollywood actors who used to be, like A-list actors that today, we don't know where they're. Because they're no longer consistent. We don't see them again. Out of mind is out of sight is out of mind. We don't know you again, right? So if you're looking to gain visibility, if you're looking to become an influencer, if you're looking to use your craft to make money via social media, if you're looking to be visible enough for customers to want to see you, be consistent. Drop something today, drop something tomorrow. Some of the biggest influencers in several niches, even in comedy, they drop content almost every day. Let me tell you one example. Look at Brother Shaggy. Brother Shaggy started acting about 6 to 7 or so-ish years ago, right? Brother Shaggy has more followers than some of the people who were acting when we were children. Are you surprised? He has more followers than several of them. Brother Shaggy has more brand visibility than several veteran Nollywood actors. Brother Shaggy earns way more money than several veteran Nollywood actors. Brother Shaggy, but what is the secret actually? If you go to his timeline, whether he's on Instagram, take Instagram for example, almost every 2 days, Brother Shaggy has a content out. Consistency. Despite being at the top 1%, that guy is consistent. Look at Davido. He's dropping songs. Wizkid, Burna Boy. Consistency. There is nowhere you can go without consistency. Nowhere. No matter how big you have become, without consistency, just forget about it. And I must say that it's a character flaw. Beyond the content thing, it's a character flaw that nobody can trust you to say, oh yeah, at this time he's going to do it. If he said he's going to do it at this time, it's a major flaw, right? So that is part of. So if, for example, you drop content at 8 o'clock a.m. every day, be consistent. Let everybody who follows you know that 8 o'clock every day, a new piece of content will drop, right? It will make them, Ebukamo has this series that he does. you can be sure that on Monday morning, whether it's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, that thing drops. No story. Except the person die, that thing must drop, right? And when you look at the amount of progress he has made, you begin to understand that beyond the quality of the content that he has, the guy is consistent. Moving on. So, to conclusion, first of all, you must understand your target audience. Without that understanding, you're not going anywhere. And having understood your target audience, you must create good quality content. There are no two ways about that. No matter how much you promote your content, even with money, if the content is whack, That is part of the reason why Davido, despite coming from good money, old money, is still almost number one today. That is why you'll find some people whose fathers are billionaires, who are musicians, still struggling. B-Red is still struggling till today. He has been in that industry for so long, he's struggling. What's the name? This girl in pink, DJ Copy, struggling with all the money, struggling, right? Create good quality content, leverage on social media, understand the difference between Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, and check whatever niche you're looking to do. Where do you have the most concentration of your industry folks? If it's Facebook, know that that's a faster way for you to go, right? And then when you go to Facebook, how best do you leverage on Facebook? There are several groups where you can drop your thing. There are several things you can do upon there. Understand the peculiarities and the fastest way to growth on whatever platform that you choose, right? There are several options that exist. Let's say you want to be an influencer, right? In the next, say, 6 months. Choose your platform. Choose your whatever it is. Find out what works the most for that platform and begin to consistently drop good quality content and use the cheat codes that exist. Every platform has its own cheat codes that exist for that platform. And in the next 6 months, you will find that you are already doing some really good stuff. Then partner with other influencers, attend relevant events, network with your industry professionals, and keep an eye out for your result, because once you know what works, you begin to double down on what works. And if you do that consistently for 6 months, you will be shocked at how much progress you would have made. There are several things in the group where I am on WhatsApp. There are several things. I know some people are still unsure what to do. There are several things you can do. If you have those questions, send them to me. We can together, we will evaluate your interest, find what works for you, find the platform that you're most at home at, and then we begin to build your personal brand. And you can know that in the next 6 months to 1 year, your goal is very reachable, is very doable. Let's say whatever it is, you'll be shocked at. I consult for a marriage counseling expert, and you'll be shocked at how much money they make. The same knowledge that the average apostolic person has and is wasting away. These people are able to practically bundle these things in little books, and if you know how much they charge for sessions. I paid for one session myself, and I know how much I paid. If I tell you how much I paid, you will not believe it. I paid for a session, and people are booking this woman. They are booking her, and this is knowledge that is. Ask the average apostolic faith person. He knows this thing. He or she knows this thing. So why are we sitting around waiting for God to send manna, when in reality, some of these things He has given unto He has given unto us, just that we do not know how to utilize them. In conclusion, I believe that with God on our side, with the wisdom of God and the opportunity that already exists, we can, be visible, no matter our field, in an already noisy world, in a manner that will bring glory to God, and we will be able to, make good money out of it. Yeah. That's it. And then, by way of PS, I would like to also say that for writers, creative folks, generally, I also understand that Many times you have writer's block. No problem, it happen. Now why ChatGPT dey? Because at this level we have to interact on a practical basis. Now why ChatGPT dey? Oh yeah, you want to look at say, okay, you want to look at what I can do, what can I do differently on social media as a photographer? You don't know what to do. That's okay. Open ChatGPT. Why am I even going too far? Open ChatGPT, put it in. You will get ideas, right? You want to write. Okay, the influence of Nigeria's burgeoning gambling industry on the local economy and the people. You're thinking of how to start. No problem. You don't have to. I'm not saying play. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to plagiarize. You can get your ideas, right? And then begin to. Once you get an outline, what are you waiting for? I consulted for a man who's an author, and he came to me. He said he wants to write a book on darkness, but he wants to approach the subject from a standpoint that everybody else has not. And for days, I was thinking about this thing. I could not understand it. And then I went to ChatGPT. When I finished and I sat with this man, I was the one that was giving him the breakdown on how he should write his book. Where did I get it? ChatGPT? So those days will come. Sometimes it will last weeks, sometimes it will last days, sometimes it will last even, maybe up to a month. But ChatGPT to the rescue. You get ideas and you begin to develop them. When you get those ideas, you can easily look at what other people are doing, tweak them, and you have your answers. Again, God, they give idea. God gives the greatest ideas. When you look at the life of Daniel, when you look at the life of Joseph, when you look at, the life of all these people, when you look at the life of even Moses, right? Paul, you find that the Bible says that the spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, right? The inspiration comes from God. Without God, there's nothing we can do. As long as we are walking in the light of what God wants us to do, God will continue to help us, and then we'll make it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Brian Luku.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm sure we've learned a whole lot of things from the presentation, and of course, yeah. Thank you so much. Please, can we give him a round of applause? Maybe we unmute or give a virtual round of applause.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So here, this juncture now, we can ask our questions. If you have questions, please let's use the feature for raising up our virtual hands. I can see two hands here. Of course, we'll call them in accordance to how they raise the hands. So if you have questions, please raise that, and of course, we'll call you to take your questions. All right. Brother Jeremiah would go first. Please unmute and ask your question. Thank you. Hi, Brother Jeremiah, are you there? Okay. While we're waiting for him, can we move on to the next person? Sister Rebecca Rio, do you mind going?
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that kind of question. Since I would like to ask something concerning consideration. So for me, I actually, I'm not into writing, but I want to go into making hair videos and posting on Instagram, and I also want to organize like classes for majorly basis. That's my target goal. But at some point, I don't get stuck because I am quite a shy person, and I don't know if you have been situation before and how you got out of it. So just to encourage me. Yeah, that's the question.
Mm. Thank you very much, Sister Rebecca, for that question. To be very sincere, I am a very shy person myself. I am not very sociable. People who know me closely know that I'm not very sociable. But you have to do what you have to do. Now, at the height of my social media experiments, right, I had well over 600,000. I had a community of well over 600,000 people, right? I was I don't know how many days, for weeks, I was determining the things that were trending in this country anonymously from my room. Like for days on end, for several days, the things that were trending in this country were the product of things I thought of in my room and I just put together and I put out there, right? And people don't know me. Why? Because two things. I'm a poor boy. Number two, I'm a shy person, right? I don't want those things to go out there with my face, right? But the thing about these things is when you continue to do, especially those things that you can do without your face being out there too much, it will get to a point naturally when you will have to attend to these things, whether virtually or physically. In time has a way of taking care of these things. If you're passionate about it enough and you're consistent about it enough, don't worry. Worry more about churning out good quality content. In time, you will find that you will outgrow that capacity to, not want to stand before people because your passion will fund your capacities to get it done. So don't worry too much about it. Just give it time. Time has a way of taking care of it. All right. Don't overthink it. I don't know if you know what I mean.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next person, Brad Jeremiah. Can you hear us now? Are you ready for us now? Okay, we'll still wait for him. Let's move on to the next person. Sister Christiana, if you don't mind, please unmute and ask your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the program so far. My question is, what you mentioned, you said where we can get topics to write, like if we are void of topics and the like. I didn't get that word very well. Chargeability or something. I didn't really get it.
The word is chat GPT. I'm just going to drop that. Hang on for a bit. I'm just going to drop that in the group. Check the message. I'm going to drop. I'm going to drop that right now. Check. Okay. Brian Minku has done that already. So that's the link to it, right?
Thank you.
Once you get that done, you would prompt it and you get what you're looking out for. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my second question. Though I started this some years back, but there are sometimes I used to be void of content. Like I'll just feel what else do I want to write on? And due to that, it affected my consistency. So I would think instead of starting and waiting at the midpoint, let me just stop, then prepare for probably 2 months, 3 months, like have the content to post before I continue again. I try working on that and it's not working. So, and I want to be consistent with it, so I don't know how I can go about with that.
No. Number one is these things happen. It happens to the best of us. So we must first of all understand that these things happen, and it's not peculiar to you. So when it happens, do not beat yourself up about it, right? Well, let's say, for example, what do you write about generally?
Though, what I actually plan to be writing on is how to balance life. So I talk on different things that is related to life.
Okay, that's okay. Balance, do you mean work-life balance? Is that what you mean?
Let me get you right.
Do you mean work-life balance? Because let me be sure I
Yes,
understand what
yes,
you
yes.
work-life, different aspects of work-life balance.
Yes.
Okay, that works fine. So there are several angles you can there are several things you can do. Right. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the easiest things you can do is read what others have written on work-life balance, and you would find fascinating perspective that you never knew existed before now. All right. Don't
Okay.
always be of the thought that it's only what you have, what you've written that exists. There are several fascinating perspectives that exist to whatever discourse that you want to be a part of. You can find them and then expand on them. Or alternatively, if you don't want to go that route, you can go to ChatGPT, right? And asking ChatGPT what new angles are there to work-life balance for a writer. That simple prompt will give you several, if not that we are pressed for time, if not that we're pressed for time, I would have done a demo for you right now, and you'll be shocked at the options that you would find right now. Right? ChatGPT is not the only one. Google AI, fantastic. If you try Google AI, it will give you a different result. Try ChatGPT, different result. You have a million and one resources at your disposal. So you cannot say anymore as a writer that the reason why I'm not writing is because there is no inspiration. When you have to do it to put food on your table, bro, the man has to do what the man has to do. And it doesn't matter if maybe you're having writer's block or whatever. So that's it.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much. Moving on to the next questioner, we have brother Amadi Paul. Do you mind asking your question now? Please unmute and ask your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Miss Stephanie, thank you for the lecture and class. It was really amazing. I understood more. But please, it's not like a question. I just want to make a plea. Is there any way I can have a direct message with you, please? I don't know. Would you mind?
Yes, sure. Here's my number. There's a group for um, people who are in this. Oh, okay, good. Okay. So, yes, thank you, Ebuka. So there's a group, so you can join the group. Whatever state you are at rather, you know, and you want guidance or support or whatever, please reach out to Ebuka or you can reach out to me and then you can get the support that you need. Right.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate. I will reach you on your direct mail. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bra Hope, I can see your virtual hand is up. Do you mind going, sir?
Yes, thank you, but I'm fine. I think that was really nice. God bless you. I wanted to say something quickly to the sister that asked about writing and maybe running out of ideas. I wanted to say also that because I also write on LinkedIn frequently. What I would suggest also is you don't wait until when you are ready to post. Ideas come from you every now and then. Sometimes some of my mentees will call me up, oh, what do I suggest I should advise them? And I say, okay, that's a good idea. I can share it with other people too. You are working on the road, different times. So for example, I try to post every week. I think I have like 4 or 5 articles already that are available that I can post now. I'm just waiting because I just want to stay consistent around when I post. So I thought it's important to just keep that in mind as well, that don't wait until the day you want to post. I mean, sometimes it happens that day that the idea will come to me, and one of such has gone viral before. But most of the time, you can just jot it down ahead of time.
Thank you very much, bro. Hope that's appreciated. God bless you.
Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
you too.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. All right. I don't know, brother Jeremiah. All right. Sister Christina, you want to say something?
No, I'm thanking him.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Brother Jeremiah, I don't know if you can see hear us. I notice your hands are up.
Fine.
thank you very much for the what I was privileged to build a YouTube channel of close to about 1,000 subscriber, and I sold it out because I missed part of the tools I used. Someone actually, took me through the process, and there were some apps he gave me, and I missed most of those apps. I want to ask, do you have an idea of any app I can use maybe to follow and create a new
I think
Any idea?
Are you there?
Yes, please ask again, sir.
Okay. I like I said earlier, I was privileged to build a YouTube channel of close to about 1,000 subscribers. Although I sold out the channel, and I don't want he took me through. He gave me some app. Actually, I did not use a laptop or a kind of desktop. I used my phone. And I've missed most of those apps. I could recall Canva and others. I'm asking if you have any idea of apps, other apps I can use, mobile apps, not for desktop precisely, for
Yes,
creating of content. Yeah, that's what I question.
yes. Yes, Ebuka, Ebuka, could you please take that question? We put together a list already. Ebuka, please.
Yeah, so I recall that we shared some resources on the chat, and if you haven't joined that chat, kindly do so. There are a lot of resources that we have that you could use to create content on your mobile. Like you mentioned, Canva is also a very key tool for creating your video background. There are also video editing apps that you could use depending on what uh, operating system you operate. So, are you an Android or an Apple user? We can recommend apps used for video editing and graphics design that you could use on your mobile. Jeremiah. Are you there?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, please. Yes, please. So just feel free to reach out if whatever operating system you're using. Just let us know if it's Android or iOS. We'll share apps that could help you out.
Thank you.
All right. I think we have Omileke Lovett's hand up. Sorry, or Mikey. Sorry, apologies for that. Please go ahead with your question. You can unmute and speak. Thank you. Hello. Hi, Sister Lovett.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we.
Good evening, and thank you so much for the presentation. So, with everything people have been saying, it seems is this content creation of a thing, it seems is centered on just people that are into writing or maybe creating. So my own question goes like this: what about people that are into their own personal business or people that have brand on their own? How will you advise for them to get into content creating for promotion of their own brand or their own personal business?
Okay. Thank you. So during the IYC, part of the people that were in the class were people who had businesses and were looking for ways to use the knowledge of digital marketing, the knowledge of digital marketing that we shared to propel their business to the next level. right? You must understand that each business has its own peculiarities, right? When I get clients, when clients want to talk to me, I first of all want to understand what their needs are. For some clients, what they need is brand visibility. They just want eyeballs on their content. For some others, they have stuff that they want to sell. How you market, how you do your marketing for customers who are looking for eyeballs or footfalls is different from the way you market, uh, you do your marketing when your customers are looking for actual sales. Sales are harder to come by. So your marketing process involves is not a single line kind of process. You approach it from several standpoints, right? So, in view of this, what I would say is let's talk a lot more privately. Let's understand what your needs and what your goals are, and then that will inform how you approach social media. There is no one size fits all solution as to how to approach social media as a business person. All these work, but there are some things that you will do and you'll see more results. So Ebuka Mo has a lot to say on this.
Okay, just to add a bit to what Brother Ifeanyi has said, it's important that we don't try to go too high level with the questions that are being asked. So I'm going to just try and give a very low hanging fruit version of an answer that I think she is asking for. When you say you have a business, you know, and you want your business to be on social media, a lot of times the best way to tell your story is through personal branding. So you're telling your story as the business owner. If it's a product, you say, okay, this is what my product does. This is how my product compares to other products in the market. This is the value you get by using my product, right? And these are the benefits, and these are all the other things you enjoy using this product. So for that to happen in itself, you have to be sure of what your product is, what you're selling to the people. And many people devise several means. I know a good number of people that are running, thrift stores, and they use majorly their WhatsApp status updates, to do their marketing. Sometimes if your product is visually appealing, you don't need to add copy, you don't need to write any appealing information. You just upload pictures of your bags, upload pictures of your dresses. And for me, I used to think originally that those things don't work. Now, I speak to somebody that does that often. She just wakes up and uploads hundreds of pictures of different dresses and bags. And I ask her and I say, does this work for you? And she said, yes, it does. That her customers operate visually. Once they see a skirt that they like under her status, madam, how far? How much is it? Right? And she's doing business. So it works for her. So first of all, Brother Ifeanyi has said, we need to speak to you more to understand what's your product, who's your audience. Just circling back to what he mentioned, your audience is key. Where is your audience? Is your audience on WhatsApp? Is it on Facebook? Is it on Twitter? Do you want to sell a course? Do you want to sell a business idea? Do you want to sell a product? We have to know exactly, what you're trying to sell to be able to give you advice that would actually, in some way, work for your business. And again, with all business strategies, with all marketing strategies, you might try the first one for a few months and you will not see results. So what do? You go back to the drawing board, you chop and change, and you come back with a new marketing strategy. So you keep going at it till you find one that works. And even when you find one that works, do you relax on your OAS? No. You consolidate on it. You add more effort. You do more. I hope this helps you very much. And feel free to reach out to either of us. And, just use the group chat as your free consulting platform, right? It might not be me, it might not be him. Somebody there might be running $1 million business, and none of us are aware of this business, and they will have candid advice for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ebuka. Love it. Are you good? Love it. Okay then.
Okay. All right. So I have a question, please.
Yes, please.
All right. So for me personally, I'm more of a technical writer, right? My writings are tilted towards software development and all, right? So over some times, a lot of people have reached out to me to help them do some technical writing for some small gigs, right? Which I have done, and the feedback I was getting were really nice, right? And they were like, okay, I like what you do, I like these. There's someone who keeps coming and keeps giving me side gigs. I'm like, okay, if this is something that someone likes, why can't I replicate it and of course do it for more other people? Now, how can I take this to the next level? Basically, of course, I'm tilted towards more of tech, but mine is technical writing. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Um, I'll chip in and then Ebuka will take it up from there. First and foremost, you have your platforms. One of the problems that people like us make is just because you're signed up to a tech firm or a major revenue source, you don't get representation for social media. You just, that's one mistake that several of us make. I don't know if how active you are, how active your medium is. I don't know how active your other platforms, your LinkedIn is, right? Those things you do are supposed to, first of all, be replicated on those platforms in a manner that normal people, not just normal people who are looking for the kind of things you do, will be able to see and connect with you. That's number one. Number two, that I would say before I yield the mic, I relinquish the mic, is if, for example, if I understand you correctly, you're looking to replicate small gigs, side gigs of writing stuff, right? Nothing stops you from advertising these things, right? You can have, say, an advertising budget of, let's say, 20, 30, 40, 50,000. Spray and pray across LinkedIn, and some other platforms to see what happens, right? And then whatever works, like Ebuka mentioned earlier, like everybody else that does marketing knows, begin to double down. So if you're seeing this happen rather frequently, and that tells you, oh yeah, there's a chance that other people elsewhere are actually looking for this service. Nothing stops you from packaging it right, having a landing page, having your own everything. You know what I mean? Having an online portfolio in the right places, and then writing it in the right places, and then there are several tech communities in the Nigerian and elsewhere, right? Why are they not seeing your articles, right? Why is there any reason why you should not be the foremost, technical writer in that space, by how you break down things, by how you explain things, by how you know what I mean, such that the moment it comes to somebody's mind that, oh yeah, I need a technical writer, naturally the first person that comes to mind, you are, that's still at the at the organic level, and you can take it up once you already have your portfolio and everything. Begin to advertise on the platform. Test, do your A/B testing, and then see the one that works and begin to double down on them. You'll be shocked that you may even have to hire some other technical writers when the jobs start coming in at a level that you may not be able to personally handle all of them. So scaling what one is doing for a person, for an individual consultant, there is a degree to what you can achieve in 24 hours. But there are some things you can do, put systems in place to ensure that you can scale and be able to deliver good quality results, make more money, and it doesn't have to be on your own time. Ryan, I'm very sure that you understand what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Ebuka, over to you.
Yeah, yes, please. Thank you, verifying you. You've really given a lot of perspective to the question. I think to just give you sort of a step-by-step guide and to bring it very, very close to what you can do right away. a big part of being a technical writer or a marketer in yourself is to be a busybody, right? And busybody means you're volunteering a lot of information at every single point in time. For instance, you're writing a technical article for an organization, and you're writing, you know what the topic is, you know who consulted you to write about the topic. You can post it on your LinkedIn and say, oh, I'm writing this article. I need volunteers with experience in this, and this. Tell me your story. If it's all those stories that are around user experience, or watch this space for the article. And then when you're done with the article, you say the article that you quote the post, and say this article that I was working on last week is finally ready. It took a lot of help with this, and this. Mention all your friends, just keep it conversational. I know somebody that does this a lot, and he is a full-time freelancer. All he does is write, technical pieces, and that's all he does. So he's writing for someone, he's getting visibility, he's using their audience because he's tagging them in as many posts as possible. And the job he gets, as he gets a job, he uses that job to secure his next job, because somebody somewhere will see that post and in the comment section say, if you're so knowledgeable about this and this article is so great, I want you to also come and write something for me. So you don't even have to, spend time, trying to, create sort of a marketing budget and, trying to advertise, on all these social sites, because as you well know, the algorithm keeps changing. What worked for Instagram last year is not working this year. And so you pick your platform where you think, you have a decent sized audience that you want to grow. And I mean, obviously, I would say you should pick LinkedIn, and you consolidate your efforts there. You obviously have your portfolio. Every once in a while, you can recycle an old article, take some snippets of the article you've written, post it on your page, and then post a link to the article. People will read those articles. So in the interim, I feel like those are the things you could do to give yourself more visibility. And obviously, at some point, you have to get to the drawing board where you say, what are my rates, right? You don't want those lengthy conversations where you're haggling and you're debating. Your work is speaking for you. It's there on your pages. It's there on your social media pages. And you can easily just say, these are my rates. If you want my services, this is what you need to do and all that. And it's a very smooth conversation. So those are the steps I think you can take immediately. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I'm sorry for jumping in without raising my hand. Just to say that you have both done justice to this question, and to thank both of you. And I just wanted to give practical examples of people that I know. I'm not so active on Twitter as it were in terms of tweeting, but I'm more active on LinkedIn. But if today I want anything, or maybe medical resources, maybe I'll go to a Coco doctor. And I'm sure that a few of us will know him too. So, like they've told you, I think you can try those platforms, especially LinkedIn for professional write-ups like that, and then check again. Maybe Twitter might work for you. I know some tech people too on Twitter that maybe if I need anything, I'll just go and check what is happening there as well. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, I see Broadly with his hand up. Hello, Broadly, do you have a question?
Okay, so yeah, my own is I have a YouTube channel called Make Them Tech, where I create video tutorials on programming. So I currently have over 400 subscribers, and I want to reach 1,000. So my major issue is that I've been trying to see how I can grow that channel to reach that threshold of 1,000. Though I know I will still have to deal with that of 4,000 watch hour by YouTube, at least for me to start making money through it. But at least let me even first of all conquer that of reaching is 1,000 subscribers. So I've been looking at that. So I reached out to somebody who is into it, and he said I have to pay money for that to happen. And I started thinking, what logic, what magic does he want to perform? I'm suspecting all this fake bot stuff. So my question now is, let's say I want to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube in the next, let's say, 2 months. What can I do?
So I think verifying has dropped off. I would say first that many times you have to, I believe, leverage on your audience, right? Who are the people watching those videos? Where are they? Developers are not typically in spaces like Instagram or Twitter just waiting for you. A big place where you can very easily get subs is a place where you provide value, and that is none other than Reddit. I hope you know of Reddit, Olumide.
Yes, sure, yeah.
Okay.
I make use of
So
that,
you
yeah.
have Reddit, right? You have DevTO, you have Stack Overflow. These are purely developer channels, right? These are people that need these resources. And one thing about those communities, even though if you ask people and they tell you about the Reddit community, you know that they can be very hostile. But if you are adding genuine value to those communities, let's say go on Reddit, search blockchain development, look for any subreddits, give a snippet explanation of your video and add the video link. Your views would go up, as long as, again, you're providing them with the value. It's not clickbait, because it is a very sophisticated audience. If you post something that they feel is not relevant to them, they would very quickly bash it. In fact, you won't like the comments that you see under there. But as long as you're adding value, I mean, there are more of these developer sites. You have Reddit, you have all these different Slack channels. Olumide, I'm sure you're aware. Slack channels are they are a very welcoming community. You can go there and say, look, I'm into developer relations, I'm into developer advocacy, I'm a software dev, looking to build my portfolio, and you find other like-minded software devs. So I would suggest you just take a look at platforms that heavily support the videos, content that you already have existing. Don't bother trying to do any digital marketing. I feel it's best for you to grow your audience organically. Try Reddit, try Stack Overflow, try DevTO. I'm sure there's more of them. I can mention them. And also, very importantly, make sure that you use your Slack channel. And obviously, if you're already active on YouTube, on LinkedIn, you can always, re-upload those. In fact, your best performing video, you should be re-uploading it as often as possible. There is no end to the amount of times you can post a video. You can schedule it to be posted in your LinkedIn every 2 to 3 days or every week. It works just fine, right? That's something I think you could do. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for that idea of LinkedIn. Okay, thanks.
All right. I don't know if there are still other questions or feedback, observations. Okay. In the absence of none, Braibuka, I don't know if you've dropped the link to the chat, to the WhatsApp group on the chat session. Of course, we can take more of the conversation.
Yes, I have.
All right, thank you so much. We can take more of the conversation to the WhatsApp group. In the absence of no other question, I think we've come to the end of today's webinar. Thank you everyone for joining. It's been a pleasure having to host you here, and of course having to share knowledge and experience with you at different levels. Thank you so much. I believe you've learned two or more things here. We look forward to having you here some other time. Till then, please enjoy your time. But let's have a quick prayer before we say good night. All right, Brother Olumide, if you don't mind, can you give us a quick closing prayer before we wrap up?
Okay, let's pray. Father, we bless you for giving us another opportunity to learn. And for this session, for our facilitator and for everybody here, receive our thanks in Jesus' name. We pray that all that we learned, that you help us to be able to carry them out, that it will be to our benefit, that it will be to your glory, that as we try to do the things of God and try to also do our own thing, that you, God, will continue to increase us, that you, God, will continue to provide clarity, continue to help us, and together we will be a shining light everywhere we go, and that lastly, you make us rapturable.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thank you. Let's have a very wonderful night rest. Till some other time. See you.
Same here, sir. Thank you so much.